My boyfriend wants me to wait 7 years to become engaged. Should I trust him? I do not know what to think about my situation. I started dating my boyfriend 2 years ago, and we agreed at the beginning that we were both looking for 2 years of dating followed by 1 year of living together after that, to total 3 years before getting engaged. We are at the 2-year mark and discussed moving in together. He even spoke about it publicly to his friends and family when at gatherings. After we went on our first apartment tour, he disclosed that he was not ready to move in together because he thought that meant marriage was expected. I didn't know how to take this, but reassured him that moving in together meant figuring out if we are compatible before deciding if we want to get married. He now is on board with moving in together again, but I am hesitant. We spoke about marriage and he informed me that he is not under any circumstances willing to be engaged before the age of 32, 5 years from now, 7 years total dating. We have spoken about this before, but I genuinely thought he was either joking, he has a habit of joking about these things, or had some desire to compromise. His reasonings are twofold. He wants to figure out if he wants kids. He wants to be more established in his career and self to know if his core beliefs change. My heart is breaking because I have been abundantly clear with him on what I want, him, and I am terrified that I am being set up here. I trust him, but at the end of the day, 7 years seems extreme to me. We have discussed at length how women and men have different timelines, but beyond that, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want me as much. Please give me any advice on the situation. I am definitely open to couples therapy if that could help too. My main question is, do I trust him? Is it worth the wait? ETA, we both are the product of divorced parents. He comes from an especially bad situation where his father flipped a switch, became abusive, left when he was a child, and has caused intense damage to his family since then. I understand his hesitancy in making the most important decision of your life, his words, but I have difficulty convincing myself it takes 7 years to decide that. ETA, someone asked me to add this when discussing moving in together. He said the only reason he would ever consider it is to avoid losing me, not because he wants to. He lives with his mom now, he pays for most of our dates since I have rent and he doesn't, and can't rationalize paying rent when he has a rent-free option. He thought I was insane for suggesting an income-based rent payment %, even though he makes more than double what I do in income. I make a good salary and do not need to rely on him, but I feel like if the roles were reversed I would be happy to pay my fair share while investing in our future. Comment. How can someone know exactly the age of when they want to get married? It almost feels like he's just stalling as long as possible. His reasonings are valid for sure and he should work on figuring them out, but you are right with feeling concerned. I think the whole planning before is silly. You can't decide at the start of the relationship how long it will take to go from point A to point B. We are not talking about a domestic flight. People process emotions and connections at different speeds, and there are a ton of things that can completely change your life situation. Having said that, there seems to be an incompatibility in objectives here. Their feelings are both valid, but she should not be with someone who isn't on the same page for so long. It's not worth the risk and time loss. I mean, planning is very important. Giving completely arbitrary year markers is foolish and setting yourself up for failure. Say your goal of moving in within 2 years and hopefully moving towards engagement when that works out. Say that you don't want to waste a lot of time before engagement. All good things. But this move in at X, engaged by Y, married by Z, is dumb. It will either cause someone to rush and maybe move too early, or simply not think there's work to be done besides lasting to that date. Or it will put unreasonable pressure on someone who might otherwise be a good fit, causing a rift. Being on the same page about marriage and kids is absolutely necessary. Concrete arbitrary timelines are not. Yeah, what would annoy me most is if he's the type of person who actually believes he can predict/plan things this way. It's not even about waiting or the amount of time, just that he views life in a way I don't, which is a big issue for me. I had an ex who used to say he knew he 100% absolutely would never get married or have children with anyone. We used to argue because I'd say he can't predict how he'll feel in 10 years, he said he could. It was ridiculous, but I just wanted him to admit he couldn't predict the future, he wouldn't, and he said he knew. A little over a year after we broke up, he was engaged to his pregnant girlfriend. Next story 2. My GF is hiding her phone. Will it cause irreversible damage to the relationship if I ask to see her phone? My girlfriend is frequently hiding her phone. She will be texting someone and I'll get close to her and she will quickly swipe out of the conversation and turn her phone away from me. I know this is a red flag. The last week I've noticed a few things happen. We were at the gym and we had just finished on a machine. I went to pick up my phone along with her water bottle and phone, and when I reached for her phone, she lunged for it and grabbed it before I could pick it up. A few days later, we were at a bar listening to live music and having a few drinks. Her phone was on the table. I saw it light up out of the corner of my eye like a notification came through. I didn't see if there was a notification. She quickly grabbed the phone and put it face down between her legs. I gave her a look and she put it back on the table on Do Not Disturb. The next day I brought this up to her. I told her that her behavior with her phone was weird, shady, and making me uncomfortable. She did not get defensive. Instead, she said that she saw how it could be perceived that way and wanted to be present and not distracted by her phone. She then said something along the lines of, "But you saw there was nothing on my phone, I just didn't want to be distracted." Almost as if to confirm that I didn't see whatever notification came up. This is not an isolated experience. A few months ago she was texting someone because I saw blue text bubbles on her phone when I got close and she quickly closed out of the app and turned her phone off. I asked her who she was texting and she said nobody and then went out of her way to prove it. She quickly pulled up a blank web browser and pretended that was what she had opened last on her phone. Since my conversation with her recently, she has been more open with her phone and been receptive to what I was saying, but this feeling that she's talking to someone that may cross boundaries in our relationship is in the back of my mind. Comment. I would wait a few weeks. If she is hiding something you're calling it on her will make her delete stuff and be super vigilant for a while. But if you let it go for a few weeks, human nature will take over and she will relax. After that time period, wait until you see a time where she is acting shady in front of you and then confront. Just look at her and say, "Listen, I've talked to you about this before and you haven't changed your behaviors. It leads me to believe you are hiding something from me. For the sake of our relationship, I'd like you to open your phone right now and let me see for myself." If she pulls the "you need to trust me" card, I would respond, "Trust is something earned and your behavior has shaken it. If you have nothing to hide from me on your phone, then you should trust me enough to look through it. I will gladly give you my phone to do the same. Only people with something to hide will freak out, man." If she says no, then tell, "Unfortunately you are at a place where this is a deal breaker. You've communicated with her multiple times, and she cannot come back later and offer this, as you won't believe she didn't delete stuff. You'll know in your heart based on her reaction what's really going on." If it were me, I would not ask her anymore. I would make this statement. The next time she does exactly what you have stated she is doing. I made a huge investment in trust and security moving to you. This is something I thought we both wanted. However, this phone issue is destroying trust in this relationship, and will not only end this relationship, but will also end this friendship. Is whoever that is worth that to you? I would let her answer, then I would say, "I need you to go through your phone with me. Do not delete anything, we will go through all the apps, and pull up deleted conversions, if she has an iPhone and other forms of communication, that we can." If she says no, that is an invasion of my privacy or whatever. Respond again with, "Am I worth losing over this?" If she doesn't, you need to be prepared to walk. Trust and privacy is a delicate balance. When one party feels trust is being broken, usually through secrecy, privacy needs to be removed so the other partner can feel safe and secure in the relationship. Figure out what you want and need her to do, because this could be nothing, but again, she could be cheating and have another FWB on the side. Obviously you don't want to read her friends group texts, but find some balance where you can feel safe and secure. You did move for her and I am sure that was a mutual decision. She was hiding something, and we all know what that usually means, inappropriate contact with someone else. She is a little more open now because you were onto her and has moved her chats to Snap, Whats or Kik to cover her trail better. Always trust your gut. I would just tell her your trust in her is shot because of her phone gymnastics, and you're not sure how to get it back. See if she offers for you to look through it. If not, it may just be time to move on. Do you want to spend the next 40 years not trusting your partner?